cyberspace astronauts. Are you ready to be entertained with pointless jibber-jabber and senseless small talk? If so, then you have come to the right place. It's the Todd Cook Show, starring Todd Cook, and featuring music by local and national artists. Now, broadcasting from his garage, here is Todd Cook.
Hi there. Thank you very much. I am here, you are here, I am talking, you are listening. This is the Todd Cook Show. I am Todd Cook, and I got another great episode for you lined up today. This is episode 2-15, by the way. That's season 2, episode 15 of the Todd Cook Show. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com is my email address. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com. You can send me an email there anytime you want, and I will read it. All right, on today's show, I've got a few different topics I want to touch on. The first will be a little bit about the viral video phenomenon that has been happening in the last 4 or 5 years or so, and kind of my opinions on that. And I'm also going to tell you about my kids and their eating habits and how they are constantly changing, and it's impossible to try to keep up with them. And I've also got some music by Jeremiah Johnson coming up, a little acoustic guitar, nice little tune called It Won't Be Long. And also, I want to tell you about a very ugly animal that I discovered fairly recently. All that on today's episode of the Todd Cook Show. Let's get started, folks. Viral videos. Now, these are videos that come up on YouTube, I guess, usually, or somewhere online. And so many people start watching. One person watches it and maybe shares it with somebody else, and somebody else shares it with somebody else. And then eventually you get the millions of people watching this video, and it spreads like a virus, so they call them viral videos. Now, there's been a lot of them. There's one recently, and I'm going to talk about this just real briefly, where Jimmy Kimmel did a hoax, where a lady was doing this, a dance, was dancing around in her apartment and fell into a table, and it had some candles on it, and her pants caught on fire. Now, I'd never seen the video until it was on Jimmy Kimmel's show, but I had heard about it a million times, and here's why. Every podcast I listen to, and there's quite a few of them, I think every one of them almost without exception, mentioned this video. Why? Because, it was the next big viral video that everybody was watching. It had like over 9 million hits. 9 million hits. 9 million people clicked on this. And here's the problem that I have with this. Now, it turned out to be a hoax. And first of all, this is not the first hoax. This is the first one that got a lot of publicity, I guess. But there was a video not too long ago that I saw. It was on CNN. And when I saw it, I knew it was a hoax. And I don't want to be one of those guys who claim that they always, when they see a video or whatever, they know it's not real. After watching the one of the lady crashing into the table and setting her pants on fire, once I did finally saw that video, I can look at that, and if I'd seen that before I knew it was a hoax, I don't think I would have known it was a hoax. It was very well done. It was just a professional stunt woman. Hollywood has a lot of professional stunt people out there that could easily do these kinds of videos, and so that one, I don't think I could have ever known that it was going to be a hoax. I would not have had a reason to. But I remember a while back there was one that was called the Birdman. It was supposedly this guy had made these wings that he strapped to his arms. Each wing was probably 10 foot, maybe even longer, maybe 15 foot long or so. And somehow he strapped them onto his arm. And I saw this on CNN, as a matter of fact. It was on CNN the first time I saw this. He has these big wings. It looks like something from the 1800s, before the Wright brothers invented the airplane. All these people were trying to fly, and they would try to mimic birds, because birds would fly. And they would strap these wings onto their arms and try to flop up and, move them up and down, flop them up and down, and try to, sometimes jump off, a little cliff, usually not really high cliff, but, or something. They'd stand on top of something, and try to jump off and try to fly. And you see all kinds of videos like that from the 1800s, where people were actually trying to, learn how to fly. And they showed this video of this guy. This is maybe a year ago. And he's running down this grassy area. And he's got these big wings. And he starts flopping the wings as he's running. No motor. There's no engine. No propeller. No nothing. Just him running. And he starts flapping his arms up and down. And he seemingly takes flight. And they got the video of him flying. Now, at one point his legs are dangling. And he finally gets his legs up straight. And he takes to the air, and he's like just kind of gliding around. And they got video from his perspective, and video from the ground. And when he lands, he's like, "Oh, it was so exhilarating," and all this stuff. And I remember when I watched that on CNN, I was like, "That can't be real." Well, why would they have it on CNN? The only reason I thought it might be real was because it was on CNN, and it turned out to be a hoax as well. You can look it up. Go look it up on YouTube. The Birdman, it was called. And he admitted, later that he wasn't an inventor. He didn't invent these wings. He's a filmmaker. And he was doing some kind of an experiment on social media. It turns out it's pretty easy to fool people. I guess his experiment was, I wonder if I could fool people with this video. And it turned out that he could quite easily. Another one, it was a video of this eagle coming down out of the sky at this park and like picking up this little kid, like this little 2-year-old kid, and flying with it for a few feet before he finally drops it, and the kid was unharmed. That's what it showed in the video. I never saw this video. Well, I did eventually see it, but the first time I heard of this video was on a podcast, and they brought it up, and they're like, "Can you believe this happened? Look at this. This is horrifying. Could you imagine this happening?" Oh, luckily that kid's okay. And I remember at one point, as they're watching the video, someone says, "You think there's a possibility that this is fake?" And all of them look at it like, "No, there's no way that's fake. You can tell that's real. You can tell that's real." That's what they said. Now, it turned out to be a fake video as well. It was another hoax, but they could look at that video, and they said, they didn't say it might be real. Not they said, "Oh, you can definitely tell that's real." That's how confident they were. It's like people, you do not watch movies, and you see all these extraordinary things. You realize that a lot of that's fake, especially with computers nowadays. You can easily edit things and make it look like that. But it's like they must go to movies and think that everything they see at a movie theater on the big silver screen, they must think that's all real too. But the Birdman and the eagle flying away with the little kid, those are both fakes. But once it was found out that they were a hoax, I don't remember seeing anything on CNN, apologizing, saying we aired this video and it turned out not to be real. You think they'd be a little embarrassed by it, and maybe that's why they didn't say anything about it. But whatever. But Jimmy Kimmel decided on this one. Not only was it a hoax, but he was going to let everybody know it was a hoax and show everybody how he did it and everything. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I just don't like how these viral videos are starting to determine what They do it even in music with songs. It'd be some silly song. I guess it'd probably have a video with it, or just the audio, whatever it is, some kind of a goofy song. But because somebody posted it on their website, maybe somebody, a podcaster that has a lot of followers, or some TV show, or some celebrity, they posted it on their website, and so a lot of people see it. And out of those thousands of people that might see that, a couple hundred of them, repost it somewhere else, and ends up going viral for no reason whatsoever, except for one particular person posted it. And so we have these silly hit songs. There's a new one. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's coming out. You'll know what I'm talking about. If you haven't heard of it yet, you will in the next few days. But the silly, goofy song from some band in the Netherlands or somewhere, silliest, dumbest song I've ever heard. The lyrics are are childlike, and the music, from what I can tell, is 100% synthesized. It's just another dance music. That's all it is. It's just another little dance beat, and it will be played at nightclubs and dance halls all around the country and all around the world, and the song will be played over and over and over on the radio, and at some point you're going to get tired of hearing it, and at some point the same people who are so excited about this song and so excited that they discovered this video will be the same people that will be tired of it and wishing it would never be played on the radio again. And all I can do is point at these people and laugh. And that's probably what I'll do. So it just drives me nuts that these people post these videos and they're really not that great, But just because it's been declared the next viral video, it becomes something really big, and they make lots and lots of money and become very, very popular. And with that said, I guess I need to post me a viral video. I need to post a video and try to make it go viral. All right, that's the end of the first segment, folks. Don't go away. I got a lot more great show coming up in just a moment.
You're listening to The Todd Cook Show.
Hi, Todd Cook here. Do you like going out on Friday or Saturday nights for some supper and live music, but you're not into the bar scene? Because let's face it, when the alcohol starts to flow, those places can get a little loud and a bit rowdy. Sometimes to the point that it becomes difficult for you to enjoy your food or the music. Do you wish that there was a place that had good food, good music, but a less distracting atmosphere? A place that you can enjoy the food and the music, but still get home at a decent hour? Well, that place does exist, and it's right here in Wichita on the corner of Douglas and Hillside, or 110 South Hillside to be exact. It's called The Kiln. They have live music every Friday and Saturday night starting at 7 p.m. and ending at 9. The Kiln is a Christian-ran, non-alcoholic establishment that operates solely on donations. And they always have great food and great entertainment. And one of the best parts, you don't need a babysitter. You can bring the kids with you. So for more information, contact Mike through the Facebook page, The Kiln, K-I-L-N, and be sure to check it out yourself this Friday or Saturday night, 110 South Hillside, corner of Douglas and Hillside in Wichita. The Kiln, where they are always glad you came.
His lips are moving, but he ain't saying anything. Todd Cook.
All right, I am back. Thank you very much for listening to the show thus far, and I hope you continue to listen to the end of the show. We got music by Jeremiah Johnson coming up, a song called Won't Be Long, and I got a couple other great topics I want to talk my way through during the next 20 minutes of this show, or however many minutes are left. You know, just a second ago, there was something during that commercial break on the floor. It looked like a gummy worm or a gummy bear that kind of been smashed a little bit. And I, obviously one of the kids must have done it. And I bent down and reached over onto the floor to pick it up. It wasn't a gummy bear, and it wasn't a gummy worm. It was a smushed grape. And so it was kind of gross. Got a little sticky on my fingers there, but I just laid it back down there, and I'll take it upstairs here in just a few short moments. All right, now I want to talk about, speaking of food that my kids have left downstairs here on the floor. My kids have some pretty strange eating habits. They go through phases, and right now I'm going to be talking about the 7-year-old. Basically, the two phases are this. Either A, you can't get them to eat anything, or B, you can't get them to stop eating. They want to eat everything and then more. And right now, my 7-year-old just started onto a phase of wanting to eat everything, which is better than the phase of not wanting to eat. Because it can be frustrating to cook a nice meal, set it on his plate in front of him, and then just watch him pick at it all the time. And it kind of reminds me of the movie The Christmas Story, one of my favorite movies of all time, where the narration says every family's got a kid who won't eat, and we've got two usually. But like I said, they go through phases, either not eating or wanting to eat too much. And just recently, my 7-year-old just started into the phase of wanting to eat everything. You put something on his plate, and he'll eat it. Some of the things, like we just recently had pizza, and he'll eat, but leave some of the crust there. But a lot of times here lately, when he's in the phase of not wanting anything, he just would barely pick off a couple pieces of the pizza and maybe a potato chip or one green bean and drink his juice and then say he's full. And there's not, I always told him, I said, I can't force you to eat, but I can force you to sit there, for a half hour, whether eating or not. And so that's the best I can do is make him sit there. I don't want him not to eat because he wants to get up and go play. So whether you eat or not, son, you're going to sit there for the same amount of time. So you might as well eat. But he wouldn't. He'd just pick at it. But here lately, for whatever reason, he must be going through a growth spurt. He's starting to eat quite a bit. And just today, got done feeding him lunch, ate it all, Comes back up once more. I gave him a little bit more. Ate all that. Came back up once more. I said, sorry, don't have any more. We're out. And he's like, can I have some yogurt then? He wants some yogurt. And I was like, not right now. We got these little, the yogurt, they come in the tube or whatever, and you just peel off the top and kind of, suck it out of the tube. And he likes that. And yogurt's supposed to be somewhat healthy, so I don't mind him eating yogurt on occasion. But he wanted some yogurt. And I eventually gave him some yogurt, and I think Jell-O at some point. And then we just had supper, and he ate all that and was wanting some more yogurt. So it's kind of a strange thing to have, a kid 1 week not want to eat, and the next week just keep eating. And I remember a while back, I think it was in kindergarten last year during the school year. He came home from school one day and he said, guess what, Daddy? I found out today that I like broccoli and cheese. And the reason he had just found that out because my wife and I had never gave him broccoli and cheese, no broccoli cheese before, but definitely no broccoli. And the reason for that is neither one of us like broccoli. I'm not a real picky eater, but I do not like broccoli. Broccoli is one of those that I'd have to be pretty hungry before I'd even try to eat some. Raw and cooked, either way. And there's a lot of vegetables out there or food to me that they're very different, raw or cooked. Carrots cooked, I like. Raw carrots, I can't stand. But broccoli, cooked or raw, they taste different cooked than they do raw, but I can't eat them either way. But yeah, he comes home from school and declares, hey, I found out today I like broccoli and cheese. They must have had it at lunch at his school, and he ate it and liked it. So, all right. Wow. Whose kid is this? Me and my wife don't like it, but wow. And most kids probably don't like it. We got excited. We're like, we got a kid that likes broccoli. Wow. What's next? Are you going to come home and say he likes spinach? I mean, who knows? We're excited. So the next time we went grocery shopping, we got a bag of frozen broccoli, and we got some cheese, and we made it up. And 2 or 3 times he'd eat it. And then all of a sudden, one day, he's just like, I don't want it. He wouldn't eat it anymore. Now, I know people's tastes change, but I don't know what happened with him, if maybe he just got tired of it or didn't like it as much as he thought he did. But for whatever reason, from that day on, we could not get him to eat broccoli and cheese anymore. But it was nice while it lasted. We can be one of the few families in America, few mom and dads in the history of America that can say, at least for a period, we had a son that would eat broccoli. How about that? But, a lot of people will say, well, obviously he just didn't want to eat it that day. I don't know. Maybe not. I know my taste buds have changed over the years. And get this. This just now hit me. I just found out recently that I like coleslaw. I used to not like coleslaw. And I don't mean just when I was a little kid. I do remember when I was a little kid, if my parents would go to KFC and bring home some chicken and, with mashed potatoes, and they had the coleslaw. I remember trying coleslaw as a kid and not liking it. But I also remember trying coleslaw as an adult and not liking it. Same thing. KFC, it's there. Why not try some? I take a little, a spoonful or a little bit of, on my fork and eat it. Didn't like it. I mean, within the last five or definitely 10 years, I remember very specifically eating coleslaw, thinking, okay, it's a side dish. Somebody gave it to me. I might as well try to eat it. And I eat it. And, some people say, coleslaw from here is better than this coleslaw, and that coleslaw is better than this coleslaw. And some people have even said, I don't like this coleslaw, but I do this coleslaw. And so I thought, well, maybe, I would try it. Maybe I'll find one that I like. And as an adult, I remember doing that, trying some coleslaw, not liking it. And then 6 months ago, my band had a gig, and afterwards they fed us. And one of the side dishes was coleslaw, and I was pretty hungry. And so I wanted to go ahead and try it one more time. Took a spoonful, put it in my mouth. Hey, that's not bad. Took another spoonful, ate it again. Not only is that not bad, that's pretty good. And I was like, wow, I ate all my coleslaw. I like coleslaw now. And so I thought, well, maybe this was just one of those coleslaws. I guess coleslaw can vary pretty dramatically. Maybe I just got some good coleslaw that was a little different than the traditional coleslaw that I don't like. A couple weeks pass. I have another opportunity to try coleslaw. Eat it. Delicious. Suddenly, I like coleslaw. Who knows? Maybe something happened with my taste buds. Maybe something happened with my brain. But for whatever reason, I like coleslaw now. How about that? All right, let's listen to a song. This is a local Wichita musician. His name is Jeremiah Johnson, and this song is called, what is it? Won't Be Long. So here's Jeremiah Johnson with Won't Be Long on the Todd Cook Show.
Covered up so many lies, no one covers up mine. I've stared into eyes that would rather kill than give me the time. I've seen the grass on the windswept plain, on the breeze I hear your name coming through like an old familiar song, and I swear it won't be long. I haven't seen those mountain tops, haven't seen those old truck stops. I guess it's somewhere along the way. Thought I had something to say. A simple task, too much to ask, and too meaningless to last. And you know me, I'm always wrong, but I swear it won't be long. Fragments of dreams not yet remembered, just a tally of debts that through my life I've incurred. Not a single one ever brought me closer to gone. It's been 10 long years and I swear it won't be long. It won't be long now. I've taken out and put it back so many times I don't know what I own. Behind the saddest eyes you'll find a soul left out all alone. But life pays in wisdom and in time. You find the reason in rhyme. So trust your heart, it's seldom wrong. And just know it won't be long. It won't be long now. No, it won't be long now.
Jeremiah Johnson with Won't Be Long on the Todd Cook Show. Look up Jeremiah Johnson on iTunes. Just remember, Johnson is spelled S-E-N instead of S-O-N. And that song was brought to you by B&B Towing. Hey, everybody in the Wichita, Kansas area. If you need a tow, you got to call Cheyenne Brown, a 20-year veteran of the United States Air Force, at 316-214-4021. And he does not just do tows. He can also help you jumpstart your vehicle. If you've been locked out of your vehicle and you need somebody to get you in, he can help you with that. If your vehicle is stuck in a ditch, we got the winter coming up here. It won't be long. There'll be snow on the ground. And if you slide off the road and into a ditch and you need somebody to get you out, you can call Cheyenne Brown. If you got an old car that's a junk car, you want to get rid of it, call Cheyenne Brown. B&B Towing, 316-214-4021. That's out of Mulvane, Kansas. B&B Towing, 316-214-4021. And now, everybody in Wichita, here's a commercial just for you.
The Todd Cook Show. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Do you live in the Wichita area? Are you looking for a great place for lunch or dinner? Do you love live acoustic music but don't know where to go? Try the Artichoke Sandwich Bar. It is located on the corner of Broadway and Murdoch in Wichita, and it is a fantastic place to eat and listen to live music. It is located on the corner of Broadway and Murdoch in Wichita, and what goes better with a sandwich than a cold beer? So look up the Artichoke Bar on Facebook today to find out when they are opened and what musical artist is performing next. They just celebrated their 30th year in business, so you know they're doing something right. The Artichoke Sandwich Bar, 811 North Broadway, Wichita, Kansas, where everything is okie dokie artichoke.
Charlie Brown's teacher is easier to understand than he is. Todd.
All right, I am back. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com is my email address. The Todd Cook Show at gmail.com. On this last segment, I'm going to tell you about an animal that I recently discovered. And I don't know if I teased this at the beginning. I'm not sure if I mentioned what I was going to talk about here at the end of the show. But it is this. This particular animal, I'll tell you how it came about. I was listening to a podcast, and somebody asked the host of this podcast what his favorite animal was. And he mentioned this animal. And I had not heard of this animal before. I had to look it up. And he was describing it. You know, I'm listening, so I can't see what this animal was. I was at work. I didn't have any way to get online and look up a picture as the guy was telling about what it looked like. But I eventually did. And I was shocked. Let me tell you, it's a fish. And you can feel free to look this up. It's called the angler fish. Like, a fisherman is called an angler. This is called an angler fish, or maybe a lure fish, I think you can call it, but just look it up, angler fish. Talk about a creepy, weird fish. As I was watching the videos of this and seeing pictures of it, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. I did not know this animal existed. I know there's a lot of weird animals, especially at the deep parts of the ocean. You know, the ocean is a really big place, and there's a lot of weird creatures down there. But this one's a really weird, called the anglerfish. And let me explain it to you. I don't know if I can. First of all, there's all kinds of different varieties of it, as I found out. But it's a very ugly fish, weird-looking body, weird-looking head, just the amazing-looking teeth that just look like something out of a horror movie. It'd be something that if you saw this, you would think, okay, this is something that the Disney Corporation cooked up, to be a scary fish in some movie, or some special effects company, came up with this fish to be in a movie. But it's a real fish. The teeth are just horrific looking. Most bizarre thing you'll ever see. But the most bizarre feature this fish has is that coming out of its forehead, it's got this little like a wire, and then hanging off of that in front of the fish's mouth is like a fake lure. It has like a lure, like if a fisherman on a fishing pole is trying to catch something. It looks like a little worm, and it flicks around, and it lights up. It lights up. This worm doesn't just flick around. It lights up. It's right in front of this fish's mouth. And as other fish see that, they come up to try to eat this little worm what they think is a worm. And in the process of them trying to eat this little worm, the anglerfish eats it. It's crazy. And like I said, there's multiple different kinds of them, but they all do that same thing. They have this little lure, the fake lure that hangs off. It just comes off of their forehead and dangles down in front of their mouth, and it looks like something that a fish would want to eat. So other fish come up to try to eat it, and then they get eaten themselves. How bizarre is that? And get this. Now you've heard of the black widow. When the male comes in and mates with the female kills the male. Well, that's nothing compared to what happens here. The female anglerfish is the big fish that I'm telling you about. The male fish is very small, and it will come up at some point and bite the female, like anywhere, somewhere on its side, on its belly, somewhere it bites the female and stays there for the rest of its life. Its lips just start to become a part of the other fish, like a parasite or something. It just congeals and becomes a part of the other fish, and the female anglerfish gets whatever she needs from the male fish, to make other baby fish, and that male fish just stays there the entire time and literally becomes a part of the female fish, just kind of dissolves into the female. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And as I was watching this, I was wondering if that anglerfish ever gets confused by its own lure that it has out there and starts, swimming in circles, chasing this lure, going over and over. It's weird. Look it up. Anglerfish. Angler, I think. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but look it up sometime. He said it was his favorite animal, and I think it's my least favorite. I never saw anything so bizarre and so creepy in my entire life. But that's it for this episode of the Todd Cook Show, everybody. Thank you for listening, and I'll get out of here as soon as I can find the right button push. There it is. Thank you very much. Everybody tune in next week. There'll be a brand new episode. And remember what the 2 rules of the Todd Cook Show are. Rule number 1, I'll talk. Rule number 2, you listen. Thank you.